As a former kid myself, I dabbled a bit in watching kids shows when I was younger, you know, just a little bit. When you were a kid too, it was always exciting to see one of your favorite shows had one of your favorite celebrities on it, like a cameo, you know? That was always fun to see. Like you had Gary Coleman in like Drake and Josh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Full House. You had P. Diddy and all that. Some people must have been excited for that, right? Some people. But yeah, it was always cool seeing a favorite celebrity of yours appear on a show that you were already watching. That was like the coolest thing ever. Well, today we're gonna be taking that one step further and stepping into the world of kids shows that had celebrity cameos, but specifically rock or metal artist. Yeah, that's a good title, right? That's a good, that'll do perfect on the SEO, whatever you call it. That'll do perfect. Codename Kids Next Door is a children's cartoon that aired on Cartoon Network between 2002 and 2008, running for a total of 6 seasons and 81 episodes. That's a lot. Especially for a kid's show, that's a lot. The show follows a group of children who fight evil adults, sometimes evil kids, sometimes evil food. And they have this base, like their base that they go to is a tree house. And they're called Codename Kids Next Door. Appropriately titled, right? Now, I loved this show growing up as a kid and would basically watch every episode. It was such a great show. Cartoon's a show. Well, episode 2 of season 4 was titled Operation Food Fight. In short, the episode is about lunch food and the school cafeteria, but we're not gonna talk too much about the plot of the episode. Well, maybe a little bit, but not too much, right? Anyway, the episode features music from a band called GWAR. You've ever heard of them, called GWAR. Now, the band isn't like really in the show, but their music is a prominent feature of the episode as it plays throughout like most of the action parts. Like for example, when Joaquin, the hamster, is fighting the sandwich. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain that, right? Joaquin the hamster fighting the sandwich. That's a sentence you probably never thought you'd hear. But yeah, just I would recommend going to watch the episode to get some of the context. It's a good episode, right? And I should add that technically it isn't GWAR that was on the show, but actually a band called ROG, I think that's how you pronounce it, ROG, which is literally just GWAR. Interestingly too, somehow the band lost the original copies of the songs that they were going to use for the show, so they had to re-record some of the parts, and the ones used on the show sound slightly different because of that. So that's just interesting. Like they lost them. Where did they go? I don't know. How do you lose songs? I don't know. It happens. Another interesting fact, actually, write this down. This is an interesting fact right here, is that Grandma Stuff'em, who is a prominent character in the episode, is voiced by Gray Delisle. I think that's her name, Gray Delisle. And she also happens to voice Vicky in Fairly Odd Parents. And she also does music. So, you know, technically that's a 2 for 1. I'm giving you guys too much content. That's a 2 for 1. But that's pretty cool. I tried to find some more backstory onto how this happened, but I couldn't really find anything. I'm assuming the people that worked on the show were just fans of GWAR and asked them to be on. Probably that simple. Probably not much of a backstory. So yeah, next. And moving on to one of my favorites on the list because it is just so random. Well, I guess they're all random, but this one's also random, okay? This one's also random. Now, the show Spongebob, if you've somehow never heard of it, follows the life and adventures of a sponge called Bob, all right? Get that right. Who lives in the ocean. And that's all you need to know. If you need to know more, just listen to the theme song and it'll give you all the context you need, all right? Oh, and also, just for some context, you need to know that he has a friend called Sandy, who is a smart squirrel that lives in the ocean. and she's from Texas. That's not that important, but I thought I'd throw that out there. Now, the episode Pre-Hibernation Week from season 2 of SpongeBob follows SpongeBob and Sandy doing extreme sports as Sandy's preparing for hibernation, right? Essentially, Sandy wants to make sure she does everything that she wants to do before she has to hibernate in like a week, I think it is. And this involves for her extreme sports where you're gonna get hurt. Now, since SpongeBob is a ride or die for Sandy, he decides to join her on these activities. You know, he wants to be a good friend, so he joins her. But he kind of regrets it later on because the activities are extreme. Now, when doing extreme activities, what is the perfect music to match that? A sponge and a squirrel doing extreme activities. What's the perfect music? You tell me, come on. Yeah, that's right, you're right. Pantera. Pantera and SpongeBob. Like, who on earth would have ever expected that? Insane, right? Insane. Or should I say extreme? I don't know. Now, the song used in the show is a song called Pre-Hibernation, and it's essentially just a slightly different and instrumental version of the song Death Rattle by Pantera. Like, it's slightly different and it's instrumental. That's all you need to know. I'm trying to play clips, but if there's no clips, that means YouTube didn't let me, right? And I'm gonna say this a million times throughout this video, but I wanted to find more of a backstory on this, but there's really not much to it. Apparently, the creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, hope I'm saying that name right. I'm gonna butcher names every video. I'm gonna butcher names. It's just gonna be part of the video. And I'm sure more people who worked on the show were just fans of Pantera and got them on the show. It's that simple. And I'm sure this is also why you've seen bands like Motorhead on the SpongeBob soundtrack, or even people like Dee Snider do voice work on the show, and even have songs on the show and movies. The people working on the show are just fans of rock music, which is a great thing because you have moments like this where you have Pantera playing in a SpongeBob episode. Now, this next show might be the show that is probably the least known on this list, I would say. Duck Dodgers was a Looney Tunes spin-off that came from an old episode from the 50s where Daffy Duck plays Duck Dodgers, a space hero, and that's pretty much all the backstory you need to know for what this show's about, right? For this video, we're gonna focus on the episode appropriately titled In Space, No One Can Hear You Rock. Right, something like that. I don't know. Something like that. In this episode, the evil guys who are Martians turn music into jazz with a special machine, alright? Ew, jazz, right? Ew. That's a joke. Well, Duck Dodgers, he wants to put a stop to all this. So he calls the only person who can save Earth from jazz. Dave Mustaine from the band Megadeth. Let's hear some cheers. Come on, Dave Mustaine from the band Megadeth saving the Earth. Personally, I think he should have called Creed, but I guess Megadeth will do. And Dave actually has to be thawed out because this is the future, right? So that boy dead. Simple as that. And he's frozen in the Rock and Roll History Museum, I believe. So he has to be thawed out and to save the Earth from jazz. Crazy storyline. I don't know how they came up with that. And eventually in the episode, you get to a part where it features the song Back in the Day by Megadeth from the 2004 album The System Has Failed. So why on earth was Dave Mustaine and Megadeth on a kids TV show called Duck Dodgers that was a spin-off of a Looney Tunes skit? I'll tell you right now, right? Calm down, I'll tell you right now. Well, it's simple. Dave Mustaine says he did it for his kids. What a great dad, right? Can I get some on this? It's as simple as that. I guess his kids were a fan of the show at the time. And what a better surprise for your kids than to be on a show that they're watching and they love and they're growing up, you know? It's a beautiful thing. Some more Oz, come on, some more Oz. I think it also helps that Megadeth had released an album just the year before the episode aired, and I'm sure the album came out around the time they were probably making the episode. That probably helped in his decision to be on the show because it gave them the opportunity to promote not only their song, but their album that had just come out a little bit before. Especially because I'm pretty sure Megadeth around this time was just coming back from a hiatus or a break just before they released that album. So, you know, any promotion helps for a big comeback album. I'm not sure if this was a big comeback album, but it was a comeback album as far as I know, okay? Not only that, but like pretty much all these, the people behind the show were just fans of rock and metal, and they thought it would be fun to include Dave and Megadeth in an episode, alright? They just thought it was a fun idea. You can't hate on them for that. Probably was a fun idea. Now, I assume this episode did well, or it was just fun for everyone that made it, because Dave Mustaine actually appears again on the last episode of the show as like a funny interview segment. So yeah, he appeared twice on the show.
Dodgers is the worst guitar player in existence. He should be behind bars. He's that bad. He's a punk. Really. I can't believe they made Dodgers a captain. I'd be a better captain than him. I've got my own helmet.
Dave Mustaine appeared twice on Duck Dodgers, a spin-off of a Looney Tunes skit from the 50s. I'm gonna keep saying that. For the last show on this list for today, I could have made an entire video on just this show alone having like rock stars or musicians. So it was hard to choose what I was going to talk about from this show, but maybe we'll have a follow-up episode of this. Who knows? I think out of all the shows on this list too, this show probably has the youngest demographic out of all of them. Yo Gabba Gabba is a show that essentially teaches kids things about life. Kind of like Sesame Street, but the vibe is just a little different. But essentially the same purpose as Sesame Street, you know? It'll teach kids things like eating different foods and other stuff like that. I don't know, I can't think of anything, but other stuff like that. Now, Yo Gabba Gabba is no stranger to including bands and artists on their show. I'll focus on a few here, specifically two, but there really are so many that appear on the show, it's kind of insane. To start off, if you don't know who My Chemical Romance is, well, that's kind of crazy. My Chemical Romance is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, modern day emo band. They went on a hiatus for a few years and then they came back bigger than ever. So yeah, definitely one of the biggest emo bands, modern emo bands out there today. On episode 1 of season 4 of Yo Gabba Gabba, there was a Christmas special. Now, who doesn't love Christmas specials on kids shows? You were always looking forward to them when you were a kid, don't lie. Alright, don't lie. But for this Christmas special, they decided to have none other than the most Christmas band out there, My Chemical Romance, to perform on the show, and specifically perform a song they made just for the show called Every Snowflake's Different, in parentheses, Just Like You. What a beautiful title. What a beautiful title.
And now, here's MCR with their holiday classic, Every Snowflake's Different.
Now, the context of the song is basically how every snowflake is different, just like you. A cute song about snowflakes, you know? Who doesn't love a cute song about snowflakes? I'm kidding. The song is about how all people are unique in their own ways, much like snowflakes. Every snowflake is different. Every human is different, right? Only smart people could figure that one out. I had to Google it because I'm not one of those smart people. I'm playing. But in general, a super wholesome song from a super wholesome emo band. The funny part about this was that just a few years before, My Chemical Romance actually turned down having a song in the Twilight movie. So yeah, a huge hit movie was turned down by MCR. But Yo Gabba Gabba, they're doing that one, right? And they're gonna be on it. They're gonna make a song for it. They're gonna dress up. But Twilight, no. Don't use that. Now the last band I go over from Yo Gabba Gabba before I try to just like rapid fire some is similar to My Chemical Romance. They're also an emo band, and at this point a legacy emo band for sure. The band's Taking Back Sunday. Taking Back Sunday is another legendary emo band, like I just said, and they were on an episode of Yo Gabba Gabba in 2014 called Pets. Just Pets. The episode is about the character Fufa getting a pet called Mokicho, right? Fufa gets a pet called Mokicho, right? Keep that right here. It's gonna be important. No, it's not. I'm playing. Now, at some point during the episode, Taking Back Sunday appears to perform a song that relates to the episode called We All Love Our Pets. Now, isn't that the most true title you've ever heard in your life? We all love our pets. It's true.
Hey everyone! The Super Music Friends Show is on!
You know, we all love our pets, so let's sing along with Taking Back Sunday.
There are many different kinds of pets we have as friends. Let's sing about them all and the things that make them special.
Now, this song is actually kind of similar to the one that My Chemical Romance did on their episode but it's about pets this time. It goes over how like pets come in so many different shapes and sizes, but regardless of how they look, you know, everyone just loves pets. Doesn't matter how they look, we just love them. And that's true. Bring in some Oz, come on. Now I feel bad for rating Taking Back Sunday poorly on my When We Were Young video, because this is a very wholesome song that they did for a children's show. So you know what? I bump up my score for Taking Back Sunday in that review, all right? Now for the backstory of both of these. This is gonna be a longer one than before because there's actually more of a backstory, right? Although it's hard to find like a backstory for each individual like band that's been on the show, I think it's pretty obvious to assume how these happened once you do a bit of digging into the show itself. Now that's gonna make sense in just a second. You see, there's a band that's been on a few episodes of Yo Gabba Gabba that goes by the name of the Aquabats.
Here they are with their smash hit pool party, the Aquabats.
Pool party, baby! It was a cool party, cool pool party! La 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 la!
If you haven't heard of them, that's okay. I'll explain to you in a second. Calm down. They're basically a somewhat older rock/punk band that is known for their music, obviously, and also known for wearing their iconic blue costumes, all right? Even Kourtney Kardashian's husband was in the Aquabats for a brief period of time. So let's just put it to perspective. This band is well known and well respected in the punk/rock scene. Well, the Aquabats have appeared in a couple episodes of Yo Gabba Gabba before. And why is this important, you ask, right? That's a great question. Thanks for asking. Well, it's important because the singer for the Aquabats actually, I'm stalling for dramatic effect here, right? The singer for the Aquabats actually created the freaking show, okay? He created the show. I was stalling a bit, I know, but that's really it. Singer for the Aquabats created Yo Gabba Gabba. Christian Jacobs, also known as MC Bat Commander, all right, in the band, is the creator behind Yo Gabba Gabba along with Scott Schultz. And they're actually cousins by marriage, so that's kind of cool too, all right? These two guys go on to create Yo Gabba Gabba, a show for kids, and it does amazing. Now, because one of the Yo Gabba Gabba creators was in the rock/punk scene and he's had this appreciation for a lot of the music that their musical guests make. And he also has the connection because he's in a legendary punk band. He has a lot of friends in the scene, which I'm just making the assumption, right? It's an obvious assumption to make, but you would assume that he has some pretty good connections and friends given that he was in a very popular band. And I'm sure some of those friends would be happy to just be on his show because one, they're friends, and two, it's for kids. You can't turn down that. It's for kids. It's for the children. Save the kids. So that's probably why a lot of these bands were on a kids show to sing about some pretty good topics to help kids out. Beautiful. More Oz. Come on, more Oz. But yeah, that's pretty much the backstory to both of these, and I'm sure a majority of the bands that have been on Yo Gabba Gabba before. So really simple, but really cool. But sometimes the answer's just simple, all right? There's sometimes not much to it. With that being said, though, some more notable guests that have appeared on Yo Gabba Gabba are The Killers, Jack Black, that's right, Steve from Minecraft was on the show, Jimmy Eat World, hello, and more important, forget everything else, Weezer was on the show. That's right, Weezer was on Yo Gabba Gabba to sing a song called All My Friends Are Insects, which actually later made it to the friggin' deluxe version of their album Hurley. So super cool. Now there were some other rock artists that I didn't include in this video because I did want to keep it to 5 because 5 just sounds better in the title than like 6, 7. But if you would like to see another video about this, let me know in the comments down below. Y'all know I love starting series on this channel that take me forever to continue, right? So that's just gonna be an ongoing thing on this channel. Anywho, it's been a minute since I uploaded, but I am back for anyone that cares. After this video, we're gonna be as consistent as possible, all right? You have my word. But I do want to thank you guys for an absolutely massive 2024. And yes, we're in 2025 and the low taper fade meme is still massive. If you liked the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you please. If you like and subscribe, I will appear on an episode of Yo Gabba Gabba. Actually, I probably will. But yeah, that's it. Bye bye.